Reporting live from 10:05. I'm Brendan.
I'm Ryan.
And today we're going to bring you guys our running back rankings list for week 9.
We're going to do our top 20 for you guys today.
Yep. Once again, we're figuring most people are in 10-man league, so 2 running backs. There might be a few guys left off this list that are starting in your league, but these are going to be our top 20s from us that you're going to want to play this week. All right, so let's get right into it. At number 1, I have Alvin Kamara versus the Bucs. Kamara's just been a freak all year, and we're recording this right after the Monday night game between the Bucs and the Giants, and the Bucs defense did not look too strong. So I expect the Saints to have a real good offense next week and Kamara to take the lead in that.
At number 1 for me, I have Dalvin Cook here. He's got Detroit. They are 27th right now in fantasy against the running back. Obviously, he was incredible this week. He had over 200 yards from scrimmage, 4 touchdowns, and most importantly, the Vikings won. So if they can use that as a recipe for success for their team, they beat a good Packers team, just simply handed the ball off almost every play, and just kind of rode Dalvin Cook's back, and they're going to try to do that every game.
Adding on to that, I have Dalvin Cook at number 2 here. It's a clear choice. He's going to be in everyone's top 2. Coming off that amazing week, they're going to look to ride him again, as Ryan said. Detroit's let up 26 points on average to running backs every week, so Dalvin Cook is a clear-cut top 2 running back this week.
At number 2 here, I have Derrick Henry. He's got Chicago this week. They're good against the rush. They're 9th ranked in fantasy against the running back. But similar to the situation in Minnesota, Tennessee loves also handing the ball off 25 plus times a game, really riding Derrick Henry every game, using that for their time of possession. And I think they're going to feed him the ball here, and I think they're going to have some success this week against Chicago.
Number 3, Christian McCaffrey versus the Chiefs. Assuming he plays, which there's about a 95% chance he's going to, for them to activate him from the IR, he's going to be the main running back in that offense. Mike Davis isn't going to see near the amount of touches he has now. He might not even get any carries. They have the Chiefs this week, the 18th ranked defense against the running back. And we know McCaffrey from last year. We know he was the best fantasy player in the league, and I expect him to keep up with that here.
At number 3 here, I have Alvin Kamara. As Brandon said, he has him ranked number 1. I mean, I could easily see him finishing 1 here. He's just been the main part of that offense, and really, on 75% of their plays of offense, he seems to touch the ball. So they really use him. They use him in the pass game. These are PPR rankings as well. So every catch, he's getting a point. He's just a great overall fantasy running back.
Number 4 here, I have James Conner versus the Cowboys. Cowboys' rush defense is ranked 24th against the running back, but that doesn't show the last few weeks. The last few weeks, they've been by far the worst running back defense. I believe they let up an average of 230 rushing yards per game in the month of October, which is just unacceptable. James Conner's looked strong in the last few weeks, so expect him to have a really big day here.
At 4 here, I also have James Conner. All the reasons Brandon said. Dallas's rush defense has looked horrible. Antonio Gibson, Washington went in there, they beat them, and they rode Antonio Gibson. He hadn't had a 100-yard rushing game before that, and I think he went up he had over 120 and averaged 5-6 yards a carry. They just don't look like they have any way of stopping the rush right now.
Not at all. Moving on to number 5 here, I have Josh Jacobs versus the Chargers. Chargers are ranked 19th against the rush. Josh Jacobs is coming off a 130-yard week in which he saw no receptions and no touchdowns. So I expect that to change here. He's a real good rusher. Hasn't had the best year so far, but just keep waiting. He's going to pick it up here soon and start showing some real fantasy value.
At 5 here, I also have Josh Jacobs. As Brandon said, he's got the Chargers. I think the Raiders are going to really try to get him involved, especially in the red zone. They're going to want him to get those touchdowns, and I think they're going to come. It's going to come with time, and he gets the volume, and the points will come.
Number 6 here, I have Derrick Henry versus the Bears. Bears are 9th ranked against the running back, as Ryan said. Last time Derrick Henry saw a real good defense, he just wasn't himself. I'm talking about the Steelers' defense. Bears have a very solid front seven, so he's still going to have a good week. That's why I still have him at number 6 here. But it's not going to be the, P-rank 3 Derrick Henry you normally see.
All right, at 6 here, I have Clyde EdwardsHelaire. He's got Carolina this week. They are the 30th ranked defense against the rush in fantasy. They've been really bad against the rush. They've been giving up a lot of touchdowns to opposing running backs. I see Clyde getting in the end zone here. I see the Chiefs trying to get that ground game going again and just trying to hold on to the ball, really.
All right, number 7 here, I have Aaron Jones versus the 49ers. This is just assuming that Aaron Jones plays. If he doesn't, I feel like you could plug Jamal Williams right in here at 7. They're both good running backs. And even though the 49ers are ranked 2nd against the running back this year, I think that their involvement in the pass game and just their overall production in that offense, they're going to see their touches, and I expect them to perform well.
7 here, I have Christian McCaffrey against Kansas City. He could easily finish higher. He's coming back. He's been out for a while. I could see them maybe trying to limit his snaps, but not too much, I'm sure. I'm sure they want him on the field. They want to win the game. He's the best player they have on their team, so I think 7's a good spot for him this week.
Number 8 here, I have Myles Gaskin versus the Cardinals. Myles Gaskin has been one of the most underrated running backs in fantasy this year. He's been performing. He's been looking good. He sees a lot of touches in that offense. And the Cardinals are the 22nd ranked defense against the running back, so I expect him to go out here, see the production, and produce good numbers once again.
Alrighty. At 8 here, I have Aaron Jones. He's going against San Francisco. They are the 2nd ranked defense against the rush, but I can see San Francisco has their backup Mullins in this week because Jimmy G's out. They don't have their best receiver in George Kittle. I can see Green Bay being up in this game. They're going to want to get the ground game going again. Last time Aaron Jones played, he ran the ball 10 times for 15 yards. They're definitely not going to want that. They're not going to like that. They're going to try to turn that around. I think Aaron Jones could easily find the end zone like he seems to do every game. And I think I like him here at 8.
All right, at number 9 here, I have James Robinson versus the Texans. Texans are 29th ranked defense against the running back. James Robinson's P-ranked 2 in PPR fantasy. He's looked good all year. He's a real big part of that offense, and I don't see that changing.
Here at 9, I have Ronald Jones. He's going against New Orleans. They are 8th ranked against the run. Ronald Jones has had 2 rough weeks here, the past 2. Like he said, we're recording this after the Giants game. He fumbled, and after that, clearly they didn't like it. He didn't play as much as what he usually would. Fournette was in the game for a lot of it, and Fournette didn't really seem to be too efficient for him. So I think they are going to try to get Ronald Jones going again next week. That's why I like him here at 9.
All right, number 10 here, I have Chris Carson versus Buffalo. Once again, this is assuming he plays. We don't know if he will. If not, Carlos Hyde, I'd say you could plug him in here. If Carlos Hyde doesn't play, DJ Dallas had a great game last week. I'd say you could plug DJ Dallas in here at 10. That offense there's so much opportunities for a bunch of fantasy value. So no matter who plays for the Seahawks, expect them to have a good game.
Here at 10, I also have Chris Carson against Buffalo. Buffalo runs about middle of the pack against the rush. Obviously what he said, if Chris Carson doesn't play Carlos Hyde. If he doesn't play DJ Dallas. Yeah, he had a good. Anyone who plays in that backfield, anyone who's going to get the most touches, you're going to want to have on your fantasy team. They score a ton of touchdowns, and that floor is always going to be there.
All right, number 11 here, I have Clyde EdwardsHelaire versus the Panthers. As Ryan said, he's been struggling the last few weeks, and the 2 games he's played with Le'Veon on the team, he's seen a total of 16 carries. Do I think it's going to continue being that low of production for him? No, I think they're going to try to give him the ball a lot more. Considering the fact that game before Le'Veon was there, they gave him 25 carries or so, and he went out and got him 160 yards. So he's still a good running back, and I expect him to still have a solid week here.
At 11 here, I have Myles Gaskin. Brandon already went over him. He's got Arizona, 22nd ranked against the fantasy running back. Past 3 weeks, he's averaged 17 points a week. He's going 20, 16, and 13. 13 last week, but he did get 18 carries and 18 carries the week before that. So he's clearly emerged as their number one running back. And that's an offense with Tua that has potential. So we can see what happens here. I got him at number 11.
All right, moving on to number 12 here. I have Chase Edmonds versus the Dolphins. Dolphins are 26th ranked defense against the running back. They have not been that good this year. And Chase Edmonds with Kenyon Drake out has been performing week in and week out. He sees that production in the passing game. He sees the production in the rushing game. Expect him to use him a lot. And I believe ESPN's projecting him 17 points this week, which is absurd. I think he's going to probably clip that mark, maybe a little more. So definitely start him if you have him.
At number 12 here, I have James Robinson against Houston. Houston's been very bad against the fantasy running back. James Robinson's been great for Jacksonville. He's really emerged as an awesome player, someone they know now that they can use consistently. He was coming off a bye week, but the week before that, he had 31 points. He was involved heavily in the receiving game and ran the ball 22 times for 120 yards. Very efficient. They like James Robinson in Jacksonville right now.
All right, at number 13, I have David Johnson versus the Jaguars. Jaguars have been terrible against the run defense, just like the Texans. Jaguars are ranked 28th against the run, and Texans are 29th. This game's going to be a battle of the ground here, with the added flair of Deshaun Watson throwing a lot of balls. So I expect David Johnson to have a good game. He also sees good production in the pass game. He'll get them targets, and the last few weeks he's been real consistent. He's just been consistent all year. He's been touching from like 13 to 16 fantasy points. So I expect him to go towards the upper range of that this week here.
At 13 here, I have Chase Edmonds. As Brandon said, I think he's made more of the touches he's had than what Kenyon Drake did. I think he looks better. I think he looks faster. And they really like him in the receiving game too. He had 7 catches last time he played. He's got a high floor with the catchability there, and I think he's gonna have a good week against Miami. They haven't been too good against the running back.
All right, number 14 here, I have Antonio Gibson versus the Giants. Giants are 23rd ranked defense against the rush. And as Ryan said earlier, Antonio Gibson looked very strong against the Cowboys, which was their last game because they had a bye week this week. So I expect Antonio Gibson to go out here against another very bad rush defense and put up good numbers. So look forward to that.
At 14 here, I also have Antonio Gibson. Same reasons Brandon said. He's going against a bad rush defense here. He's coming off a really good week, a week that also Washington won. So, that's going to be put into their game plan. If they can run the ball like that, they know that keeps their defense off the field. That keeps them in any game. They're going to try to do that now from here on out, I believe, and I like him there at 14.
All right, at 15 here, I have Todd Gurley versus the Broncos. Gurley's been nobody really noticed, but Gurley is P-ranked 5 this year. He's been good.
I don't know how. I haven't seen it at least.
Yeah, he's seeing the production in that offense, and he's got the Broncos who are ranked 3rd against the rush this week. So I don't think he's going to be able to keep up with that P-ranked 5 play here, but he's been a good running back, so he is not going to get shut out completely. I think he'll have a good week here.
Yep, at 15, I also have Todd Gurley. I would usually have him higher. He's a P-ranked 5. He has been good. He gets the touches every game. They seem to like him there in Atlanta. They want to get him going on the ground. But like Brandon said, he's got Denver. They've been awesome against the rush. So it's a risky play this week. He's coming off a week in Carolina where he played a very bad rush defense. Had 18 carries but only made 46 yards out of that. That's two and a half yards a carry. That's not going to get it done. But he has a lot of touchdowns. He has 7-8 touchdowns already this year on the ground. So he has that high floor for the touchdowns there.
All right, moving on, I have Rojo or Ronald Jones versus the Saints at number 16. I made this before the Monday Night Football game we've been talking about, but I think it just proved it even more tonight. Rojo fumbled, and they didn't really use him after that. They've been splitting that offense between him and Fournette a lot recently, so his production's going way down, and the Saints are letting up an average of 13 points against running backs this year. which is the third fewest in the league. So I don't expect Rojo to have a great week here, and I'd even argue that he's not even a must-start this week.
At 16 here, I have David Johnson against Jacksonville. Jacksonville hasn't been good against the rush. Last time he played him, he had 12 points, which it seems like he gets every single week. He reminds me of James White from last year. It's between 12 and 16 every week, which, I mean, not bad. He won't have that high ceiling, but he gets the touches to give him that higher floor.
All right, number 17 here, I have Justin Jackson versus the Raiders. When Eckler went down, we were wondering who was going to beat, Justin Jackson or Joshua Kelly. But Justin Jackson has proved that he's that number one guy. He's seeing 15 to 20 carries a week now, and he's still getting a few receptions here and there. They got the Raiders, the 31st ranked defense against the running back. So I expect Justin Jackson to go out and have himself a good week here.
Here at 17, I have Ezekiel Elliott. He's got Pittsburgh. I mean, that's kind of crazy to say, even if you think about it. It's crazy that a healthy Zeke Elliott is being put at number 17 on my running back rankings. But that's just how it's been since Dak's been out. It's been terrible in Dallas. The offense can't seem to move the ball. They don't get touchdowns. It's just, and the ground game hasn't worked like it usually does. And he hasn't had a touchdown in the past 3 games. He hasn't exceeded 12 fantasy points in the past 3 games. So, I mean, that's a problem until he shows that whether that offense turns it around or he can at least turn it around, you can't put him any higher right now.
Yeah, I have Zeke at 18 here. As Ryan said, it's absurd to say, but it's not just on him. That offense is horrible. The defense is just making the offense go back onto the field after very little time because they're letting up points. The offense isn't getting much rest. The offensive line looks horrible. And he has the Steelers this week, the number 1 ranked defense against the running back. They've let up an average of 14 points against running backs this year. And as Ryan said, he hasn't eclipsed over 12 in the last 3 weeks. So I don't really see that changing here. He's got a tough matchup, and that offense is really struggling.
At 18 here, I have Jonathan Taylor. The Colts have Baltimore this week. Baltimore's been very good also against the rush. That's why he's down at 18. I like Jonathan Taylor. He's usually higher in my rankings, but this week, Baltimore, tough matchup. He's coming off of the worst game of his season with 11 carries for 22 yards, averaging 2 yards a carry. No touchdowns, 5 fantasy points. But other than that game, it seems that he's one of those players that are going to stick between about 13 and 19 points if he can get the carries. And really, it's opponent-based for that Colts team because last week they seemed to throw the ball a lot more. They had the offense really moving down the field quick. It just depends on the game. If he gets the touches, he can get up into the 20s. If not, he can give you like a 5-6 point week.
19 here at David Montgomery versus Tennessee. David Montgomery's been a very solid running back this year. He's been putting up good numbers. Tennessee's the 15th ranked defense against the running back, so I expect that to continue. He gets a lot of carries. He sees production in the passing game, so I expect him to have a solid week here.
I also have David Montgomery this week at number 19. Same reasons Brandon said. He gets the touches. They do use him in the receiving game a lot. Last week he ran the ball 21 times for 89 yards. That's awesome. That was his highest total of the year, so I hope they're probably going to try to build off that, get him going really, and we'll see what happens.
All right, at my last spot here at 20, I have Jonathan Taylor versus the Ravens. As Ryan said, Ravens have been a very solid rush defense this year. And Jonathan Taylor's looked pretty good. He's staying in that range. But the Ravens are a tough defense, so I have to bump him down to 20 here.
At 20 here for me, I have Phillip Lindsay. He's got Atlanta. They're 21st against the rush in fantasy. They haven't been too great. Lindsay, since he came back from injury, week 6, he had 23 carries for 100 yards, averaging 4 yards a carry. Week 7, 9 for 80, averaging 8 yards a carry. And last week, he had 6 carries for 83 yards and a touchdown. He's really shown that he makes more of his touches than Melvin Gordon does. I think they're going to get him going in this offense. They need to get him going in this offense. They're coming off a win. I think they're gonna really try to get the run game going in Atlanta.
All right, well, there you guys have it. Those are our top 20 PPR running backs here for Week 9. Let us know what you think down in the comments, what changes you would make, what you think we got right. And you got anything else to add?
Let me know if you think my putting McCaffrey at 7 is crazy.
Yeah, that's what we've been going back and forth about.
He thinks it's crazy.
I
We'll
do.
see what you guys think.
All right, well, thank you guys for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, do all that. Give us some feedback. We will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
See you later.